Hello, everyone, and welcome to the electronic scoreboard for Living Card Baseball. This is a game that I've kind of resurrected from the past. It's a game that I created several years ago called Long Ball Baseball, and I hadn't done a whole lot with it the last couple years. So I brought it up and looked at it. I had put a lot of time into it, and I thought, well, I wanted to create a game that included having cards where you input into the game ratings from the cards. And then I learned there's a term out there called living card games. And living cards are different in that when you purchase packs of cards, you know exactly which cards you're getting. You're not just purchasing a pack of cards that have random cards in it and you don't know exactly which cards will be in it. So living card is something that I wanted. My first set that I'm creating is 1985, and these cards are a known entity. They will be 12 position players and 12 pitchers. And I made a short film from my cell phone. I apologize for the quality. This is 6 of the 1985 pitchers, and this is the sheet before it was cut, before the cards were cut. And these were printed from my Excel sheet master file where I create the cards, and I like to round the corners, so I rounded them. I didn't show the backs on these, unfortunately, that have the ratings, but you'll see some here in a second, the ratings on the back. These were printed from the PDF file that I saved the spreadsheet from. You can see the ratings on the back there for George Brett. There's ratings for tie score, up 1 run, up 2 runs, down 1 run, down 2 runs. So I wanted to have that ability to inject these player ratings and into the game. You can use a cell phone to view the cards. You can use an iPad to view the cards. You can view the cards in your hand and have that tactile piece, and you can just reference the ratings on the back. Here's the iPad version. And you just click to see the rear, and you click again, and it'll show the picture. It just toggles back and forth. And I wanted to be able to inject into the game the ratings based on the score, whether your team was 1 run up, 2 runs up, tied, 1 run down, or 2 runs down. So I thought this would be a good way to create a game that takes, and here's the web version. I'll show you that more in a second. So that is this. So if you click on a player, you can see his ratings on the back. This is if the score's tied, 1 run up, 2 runs up, 1 run down, 2 runs down. So I wanted to have this card game where you have the tactile piece for the cards in your hand, or you could reference the cards on your cell phone, iPad, or right here on the computer. So then I said, well, I got this game and I've modified it to take inputs, and it's really cool the way it works. And so I think I have a kind of a neat idea in progress here. And I have my first set of cards, which is just the 1985 set of 12 position players and 12 pitchers. And the idea would be I would create sets from different years. And I think I would probably concentrate on the 60s and 70s and maybe early 80s initially. Create these cards, and then you collect the card years, and then you get here and you want to play the game. That's where this scoreboard comes in. So you come in here, and the initial version is going to be the Challenge the Champions version, where you have your team based on your cards, whether you have just 1 year of cards or a couple years of cards or all the years of cards. And I would sell them at a fairly inexpensive price, $5-10, something like that. So then you would get access to the game as well as having the card set. And so you would come in having your card collection, your living card collection, LC baseball, and you would pick a team that you want to challenge. So you would have, initially I have set up 4 teams here. So if I want to challenge the Big Red Machine of 75, I would choose that as my opponent. Now this takes you to where you would load the lineup. And so like my other scoreboards, you would typically just choose players and put them into the lineup here. But with this game, you would need the code that is from the player cards that we saw in the movie. You can see there's player codes on the cards. And this is the web version where you have actually 8 across. So all the pitchers are over here and all the position players are over here. So I thought, well, you got to input the code of the card in. And so how that would work, you would have like Ozzie Smith is C56527. So you would go here and type in C56527, right? And then you would choose a position for Ozzie and insert him into the lineup. That way you've got your card inserted. And then during the gameplay, the game would ask you for inputs for Ozzie or any of the players at any given time. And it would ask for his, say, fielding rating. And Ozzie's going to give you a good fielding rating. And you would inject his fielding rating into the game at that point, and it would have an immediate impact based on weighted randomization into the functions and algorithms that I've created in the game already. And so you would have immediate impacts into the game based on the question that was asked for what rating and the situation of whether the score was tied, 1 run up, 2 runs up, 1 run down, 2 runs down. And so the idea would be like relief pitchers. When you're 1 run up, their ratings would be rated a little bit higher. They'd be tilted, slanted in that direction. So I thought that was really cool to be able to do that. So I've done that, and I've kind of slanted their ratings based on those kind of situations, scoring situations. So then I thought, well, you know, it's good you can pop the numbers in there and enter the code. But then I came up with, well, what if I want to be able to just easily enter George Brett into the game? Well, I've just clicked on George Brett. I did 1 click to view the back of his card. But what I did is I've actually captured his card code as well. So now I can enter George Brett into the game by having just clicked on his card. And if I want to put Ricky Henderson, Pedro Guerrero in next, I've just clicked on his card, and now I can come in here and enter his him into the lineup. So we'll put him in left field. So the idea is that you can view your cards in different ways, either through a web page like this one, or through your cell phone, or through the iPad, or through holding the card in your hand. So I just wanted to share where I'm at with this right now and get the idea out there of what I'm doing and see what kind of feedback I get. And then I'm also going to make a video next of after you've created your lineup. Say I want to insert Oral Hershiser as the pitcher. After you've created your lineup, you would hit OK and go into the game. And I'll show that in another video and show you how the game actually works. It's basically you're playing the game, and there's ratings for the players already, much like in my other games. And they're all rated for their running, their fielding. There's a lot of interaction between the pitcher and batter in the functions and algorithms and the weighted randomness in the code to take into consideration left-handed pitcher, the platoons against a right-handed batter versus left-handed batter. There's tendencies that I've created into the game in the base game that would already be there to create the matchups between the pitchers and the batters using their actual statistics. But then they would use these cards to inject these ratings for immediate impact. And it plays out pretty cool, and I'll get into that video next. So that is just a quick peek into where I'm at and what I'm doing right now with these living cards and the scoreboard that I'm calling Living Card Baseball. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and more later.